Alright y'all, this is Hunter Van Houten with Van Houten Builds, and welcome back to my channel. Alright, so where we left off last time was with the 68 convertible Mustang, and we were working on just basically repainting the engine, getting everything together, making it look all nice and shiny and new, kind of. And I accidentally cracked the timing cover. I don't know if you remember, but we just ordered a new timing cover for it, ordered a bunch of new parts for it as well. So I'm super excited for those to get here. We're still waiting on that to happen. Gonna go ahead and pop off the harmonic balancer and then the timing cover as well, just to prep everything, get it ready. Also, we wanted to check our timing cover chain while we're at it. Currently, still waiting on the 65 302 5.0 to get back from the machine shop. Kind of sucks. They're really giving me the runaround, and I'm gonna fill everybody in once I eventually hopefully get that engine back. Definitely want to avoid that shop at all costs. So I've got a lot to tell. I know a lot of you guys have probably gone through the same thing and or are going through the same thing. So I wanted to let you know what mistakes I made, and hopes that maybe you could somehow avoid those things, you know, in the future, learning from my mistakes. That's what we're here doing, I feel like, all the time. So anyways, with that said, go ahead and give me a like on this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Remember to set your bell notifications so that you're notified every time I post a new video. All right, let's jump into things. All right, y'all, so I got the timing cover all set here. Yeah, let's go ahead and take this off of the crankshaft. I've got a steering wheel puller. Hopefully that helps us get this thing off. TBD on that. Let's go ahead and get this sucker off though. Can we take a moment to appreciate all of my fine painting here? Let's rip this off and see what we got. Actually, I'm gonna leave that on. I'm gonna just rip these pieces off here. Yeah, just kind of wanna see what this rattle can paint job looks like. Yeah, not too shabby. Okay, sweet. We can also put the valve covers back on. Nice. All right, y'all. Looking pretty good, looking pretty good. I mean, guys, not to toot my own horn, but beep beep, you know? This is not a bad paint job here with the Duplicolor engine enamel. I'm always, you know, really impressed by it. It looks really, really good. Let's go ahead and take off the harmonic balancer. There we go. Nice. All right, y'all, so I don't know if you remember this from when I pulled the steering wheel off the 65, but I got this like puller kit basically for the 65. Now I'm gonna use it to pull the harmonic balancer off. So I'm gonna use the original harmonic balancer bolts. I don't have any like grade A bolts, but I'm hoping these work enough and don't strip anything out, don't mess anything up. And then I'm gonna put this in and we will go from there, guys. Good times. I'll put this in as much as possible here because I don't want to strip anything out. Hoping this comes off fairly easy. And we're just basically going to be doing this and trying to pull the harmonic balancer off of the crankshaft. And you can see it's starting to come a bit. It's working. It's working. Woohoo! Harmonic balancer is off, guys. Sweet. Oh, sweet. There we go. Nice. Gross. And if you guys remember, we cracked the timing cover trying to pry the manifold off because it was like impossible, and we had to get the engine crane and pull it out. Anyway, since then I repainted everything, made it look good, and yeah, gonna pop the timing cover off now that that's messed up. And what we got is a fresh new timing cover. So check it out. We've got this that I ordered in the mail. And I'm hoping it fits. It looks like it's a replacement for what we got. I also got a gasket set for this as well. Just a Felpro gasket set for the whole thing on Amazon. Everything was on Amazon. It was way cheaper on Amazon to buy this than pretty much anywhere else. So we went with that. So let's go ahead and pop the old timing cover off, check things out, make sure our timing chain still looks good. I'm really hoping it does. I have no idea because we haven't taken it off yet. So anyways, let's jump into that. All right. All right, y'all, I forgot about these bolts at the bottom. I was like, why isn't this coming out? But on the bottom of the oil pan, you have two different sets of bolts. There's 1/2 inch on the outside of the timing cover, and then there's 2 9/16 as well that are close to like the crank. You know, it's funny because I remember times like this when I have an electric. So much easier. Like, why wasn't I just doing that? Timing cover coming off. Oh boy. All right, guys, so here's the timing cover. Good times. Get it? Oh, okay. Anyways, I'm gonna kind of bring the other one over and we're gonna just compare. Let's pop this guy out. This was basically all cracked in here, through here. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is where the crack was, unfortunately. So it cracked here. Yeah, so we're gonna ditch this. Everything looks exactly the same. All right, y'all, so here's the deal. What I discovered when I took the timing chain cover off, the chain was super duper loosey-goosey. Look at how much play is in that. I mean, that's like craziness. Floppy, floppy, floppy moppy. So I emptied the oil, just wanted to kind of look and see what was going on inside. It does look like there's maybe a little bit of coolant in the oil. I can't really tell. This is where we're at with the timing cover all painted up now. I'm just using this old Ford blue here, and I like it way, way better than the dark Ford blue, which is what I originally used, and this just pops. We'll put this in, but from the underside, from the back here, and fit this you know, in. I've actually had this in the freezer for like a couple days. It doesn't need to be in there that long, but I figured, hey, it'll go in a lot easier probably. All right, so I just went to Harbor Freight and picked up this like bearing kit. I'm just gonna use it for this to hammer this bearing in. This one, this actually is not a bearing, but this is the seal, and it goes in from the back like that. What I'm gonna have to do though is get some wood to like support the timing cover underneath before I start hammering on stuff. I've got my dead blow hammer, and I've also got a rubber mallet, and we're gonna put a little ultra black Permatex on the outside ring so that way we get a good seal and it helps it slide in. I'm just gonna do a pretty thin layer around the outside here. All right, this one, since it doesn't have the lip, or it goes in from the outs, or the back. So, okay, so let's try this. Hopefully not a major disaster. Yeah, we're going in. Good news. Nice. Okay, that's good so far. I don't want any of this getting into the oil, so we're gonna wipe this out. any of the squeeze out here. All right, y'all, so I ended up just cutting the sway bar out. Yeah, it was a pain, and I was basically just solidly rusted bolts that I couldn't get out, and so it'll just make it easier to get the oil pan out now since this was in the way, and I'm just going to replace it with a better one anyways, so no need to keep it. So now we can get this oil pan out and start restoring it. Woohoo! All right. Yuck. All right, y'all, so this is my pan, and it is gross. Got a little silicone RTV here. Yeah. All right, grody. Looks like worms. I'm just gonna clean this whole thing up. I gotta probably hit this corner out. It is all dented in pretty good. Look at that. Yikes. But yeah, I want to try and keep this because, I mean, why not? You know, it'll save me money. There's like chunks of stuff though, so that is a little concerning. I don't know what that is. Almost looks like molly grease or something. I don't know. Yuck. But yeah, let's clean this out. So I'm just using Dawn dish soap, which is great for degreasing, and a red Scotch-Brite pad, and some water, and I'm spraying everything down, and then just scrubbing away. It's working pretty well. I do this with a lot of stuff, so highly recommend, as opposed to just going out with you can also do it with a degreaser, but it's easier with dish soap. All right, y'all, so I went ahead and took off the timing chain and everything. I got a replacement for it because I knew it needed one. There's my beautiful paint job there. So I got this Comp Cams timing set and thought we would give it a try. I hope it's the right one. TBD, we'll see. So let's crack this open and see what we got. Yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of this 10W30 Castrol. Figured, why not? We'll just put a little bit on this. I ended up basically getting this set at top dead center. So I'm gonna torque this at 40 to 45 should suffice from what I've seen. So what we're gonna do is tighten it up just a little bit more. Okay, great. So yeah, now we're on. I got this back on, cleaned everything up here, oiled it all up too, you know, just so we're okay. Then I'm gonna put some oil all over everything, just the chain in general. I'm gonna take off the oil pump down there. I figured that would be the easiest way to get to it, I guess. So this is the old oil pump screen that was on here, and I got a new one. So we're just gonna pop that new one on. I got this melling part. Figured it would just be easier to do since I'm already, in here, so why not, you know? All right, y'all, so what I'm gonna do is I've got this like hub puller here. So I put this comp cam's timing set on, and I noticed that it had a factory defect in it. There was a chip taken out, unfortunately, of one of the teeth here. And what I did is I reached out to CJ Pony Parts. They graciously sent me a brand new part. It is on its way right now, but I wanted to go ahead and get this thing off because it was bare to get on, and I've got the other one now coming. So yeah, I'm gonna pull this thing off. The easiest method I've found, I guess, because it's really on there, is to just use the hub puller and just work slowly with it. Boom, we're there. We're there. But now we still got to get the hub off the bottom, or the gear off the bottom, which is a pain because it's not going to come off just pulling on it. I don't know if you can see that right there, but there is a nice little divot taken out of the edge of that, and it was brand new. It was from the manufacturer. So yeah, it was a comp cams set. It was like that when I got it. So they're gonna send me a new set out, or they already have, and I'm just waiting on that to get here. And then once that comes in, I'm gonna install that, put everything together, and we can get the timing cover put back on, the water pump, get everything put back together, and get this thing started up and rolling. All right, so CJ Pony just sent me a replacement comp cams timing set, which is awesome. They just they got it in the mail ASAP. That's why I love CJ Pony Parts. Highly recommend y'all, if you're ordering something, go with CJ Pony Parts. They're amazing. They're always great. All right, y'all. So here's the new comp cams setup situation. We are at top dead center on cylinder 1, and now we're gonna put this good stuff on. I just oiled this. It doesn't go on easy, unfortunately. Now I'm gonna throw a little oil on the chain. I'm also gonna put a little Ultra Slick on there. This is some assembly lube. I'm just gonna throw this inside here and then the pin. All right. There we go. All right, so I got this gasket for the oil pump tube. It's this number for Felpro 72516 pump inlet tube. This is the water pump kit that I got, and it's the timing water pump kit that I got here from Felpro. So I've got all these pieces here. And I have my water pump situation where I kept all of my bolts. And what we got to do is coat this with RTV before we put this on. And then we also got to put our water pump on as well. So this is our timing cover gasket. Here's our timing cover screws.
Alright y'all, so I decided that I'm gonna reuse my air cleaner situation. I went ahead and tried to start stripping it as much as I could. It was in really bad shape with the rust and all the junky junk on it. I ended up using the rust remover stuff and just let it sit in here for a while. And now I'm gonna go through and just like really clean it even more. My workbench is a disaster. Everything is everywhere. So one thing I did not show was me cleaning out and getting rid of just the junkiness that was the air cleaner situation. This is the top though that I painted for it, and I have to say it turned out really well. I'm going with that Ford blue that I like. It looks really good. I was able to get all the rust out. Yeah, so we're gonna paint this part of it now. I use a Rust-Oleum rust reformer all over this just to kind of seal it. And then now we're gonna use the Duplicolor engine enamel. That's my favorite and my go-to for everything. So we're gonna hit it with some primer and then blue. All right, I think that looks pretty good to me for a quick rattle can job with whatever I have left, which I didn't have a full can. I wish I did. But yeah, pretty good. Not too bad. I'm just gonna let it dry, hang and dry for like the next 2 days. All right, y'all. So one thing I wanted to do is basically, since we've already got the bottom of the engine open, I wanted to replace the rear main seal. Looks like it's pretty leaky, pretty gross under there. So I figured, why not just go ahead and replace it since we're in there. We got the oil pan off, and yeah, it's a good time to do it. So yeah, let's replace it. Also, this is one thing I knew that like I didn't have to do necessarily, but was going to do because I already had the oil pan off, and I just kind of wanted to see what we were looking like. There's a little bit of bearing wear right in there, but like no ridges, so we are all good. Yeah, I wanted to kind of see what this rear main seal was looking like. I also had to take this seal off or get this popped out because I've got a one-piece oil pan seal. So yeah, so I'm gonna take this guy off, and it is on there good. Jeez Louise. There we go. Just get one end started and then pop it off. And that's what that one's looking like. We can ditch that and clean this up. This is the inside of the engine. So next I wanna pop out the rear main seal here. It's offset, which is what we want. So when we replace it, we also want that offset, and we've got to take and pop the other piece out on the other end as well. So it should just pop out like this. Yep, there we go. Yikes. Grubby. But it came out pretty easy. Didn't have to necessarily be replaced, but it's like 50, 60 years old, whatever. So why not, you know? So this doesn't actually have the ridge on it. It's just the two-piece rear main seal, and we're gonna replace it. It's almost like a rope rear main seal. I'll clean this out real quick. Leave this bearing in place. I'll put a little assembly lube, ultra slick, on the bearing before I put it back in, of course. And then we'll pop the new rear main seal into place and hope for the best. It's the first time I've done this, y'all. Never done this before. Learning a lot. You know, the more you work on it, the more confident you get at this stuff, you know, after having done it, but you got to do it first, right? So, but it starts with little things and then goes from there with, you know, what you become confident in working on and not. Like, I don't feel confident to do a whole engine rebuild myself yet, but little things like this help. For one, this smells really weird. It has like a weird burned rubbery smell to it, which is strange. Doesn't smell like the rest of the engine, so that's interesting. Put on some gloves, y'all, because stinky and messy. All right, so this is the part I got. I got the Felpro BS30136. And this is just the gasket for the 289 302. Let's pop it open and get this gasket in. There's a specific way that this goes in. We've got a two-piece gasket set, and how it goes is it's got this little lip, which I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's this little lip right here. That goes on the inside, like where the bearing is. So it goes in like that. But what we've got to do is, if you remember when I took it off, it had that like just like a slight edge popped up over, because it's like it's not like an even, doesn't sit even and flush with this end. It sits like a little bit clocked this way. So that way, once we also put the other piece, this piece, in where the crank is, then it sits like clocked. So that way it keeps it kind of from leaking out these ends right here. So you get a seal all the way around. Otherwise, if you put it even, it wouldn't keep the oil in, and you'd probably get leaks. So that's kind of why it's clocked. Came that way from the factory too. Good times, y'all, good times.
if you've got power steering, it's really difficult to get to the other two main caps, or to the other main cap here. Not good, guys, not good. I mean, at this point, I'm like, fuck, should I just pull the engine? Jesus Christ. So close to just pulling the engine, y'all. All right, so check it out, y'all. Got this nice ring around my face here because I was wearing a full face mask when I went up underneath the car. And the reason for that is because the other day I was up underneath the car and I was cleaning some stuff out, got something in my eye, and my eye swelled up. I had this like crazy allergic reaction, and my eye swelled up like, I don't know, it's crazy. So had to take a bunch of Benadryl. It went away, but now I'm like just trying to be careful. So note to self, I've never had that happen before, but I don't know what it was. It's kind of weird. We took the rear main cap off and the bearing looks pretty good on it. I also was able to put this part or piece of the rear main seal in here, and it looks pretty good. The only problem is I couldn't get the other half of the rear main seal out. I didn't know that and this is just because I'm inexperienced at this and this is my first time doing it, I didn't know that they had rope seals back in the day. And they just kind of fall apart when you hit at them with a punch. I went at them with 2 different sizes of punches, and it just kind of squishes up and just falls apart. And I was trying to pull the other half of it out with a pair of needle nose pliers. Could not. It just kept pulling threads of it out. So I was gonna try and drop the crank, and guys, it's just crazy. I mean, like, here, you can see, I've got the car in the driveway. I took the cross member out in order to get the oil pan out, and that's what you use to jack up the front of the car with. So I'm basically having to crawl on my back because I don't have enough room to work underneath the car, unfortunately. So what I think I'm gonna do is just make life easier on myself, even though I don't think it's making life easier on myself. Hindsight, should have probably just left the rear main cap together. Shouldn't have messed with the seal at all. It was fine. I don't know, it might have been leaking, but I figured since I was doing it, why not do it right, not have to do it again. I'm gonna pull the engine as much as I don't want to. This is stupid because it's in the driveway, because this one's in the garage, because we're still waiting on the engine for that, which hopefully will be delivered this weekend. I don't know. I'm gonna pull this engine. I figured, why not? I'll just do it right. That way I can get the rear main out and be able to flip the engine over and actually get to it, pull the crank, check the bearings. The bearings will probably be just fine. I don't think I need to do anything there. But yeah, this is just one thing turns into another. This is why, I guess, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But whatever, I want to learn. I just wish this wasn't in the driveway and this wasn't in the garage. I wish it was reversed, because that way we could jack this up. This is on a hill, by the way, which makes it a little bit harder too, because I don't even know how I could jack it up. Maybe under, the side and put like a little bit of a lift on it, but then it might roll down the hill. So I got trucks behind it, but who knows? So instead of like this video taking forever and y'all watching me struggle trying to pull this other engine and all that stuff in this video, this is just gonna go on for forever. Obviously, never ending project, right? All these are. I'm just gonna call it there. Next video, I'm gonna pull the engine. So just stay tuned, because that's what that's gonna be. Pulling the engine, replacing the rear main, then probably pulling the crank, cleaning out the bearings, just testing everything out, making sure everything's good before we put it back in. It'll also give me a chance to kind of clean things out, although I wish it was in the garage, because if it was in the garage, I could potentially be able to like keep the engine out, do all the body work, then put the engine in. That would be ideal. I don't know, TBD on that. That's it for now. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much. Thanks for all your questions and comments and all that good stuff. Thanks for following along. If you guys have stuck it out for this long, I really, really appreciate it. I know this is only my 3rd video on the 68, but we've been on the 65 for years now. So that one's almost ready, so hang in there. It will be on the road, I promise. It's ready to go, just minus the engine. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one. All right, bye.